We had sex, unprotected.
It wasn't baby making sex. It was angry sex.
It's not about baby making sex. Sex is sex.
It was angry sex,
Sex
Your Honor. It was out of
naked.
revenge.
Sex is sex, and she's still here as a baby. It don't matter what type of sex it was unprotected.
During that time, when she became pregnant, she explained to me that she was and that it was another man's child.
So she told you
Yes, she did.
that it was someone else's baby?
Yes, she did.
How long after Mr. Taylor left for Atlanta did you turn to Mr. Green?
A few weeks.
3 days later, she was pregnant by October 12th. I left September 14th. That was less than a month.
No,
That's
I
a
knew-
lie.
Ms. Webster opens the case by declaring shocking news about her paternity doubts regarding Myron Smith, who she thought was her father and had paid child support for her. She claims Mr. Ware is her biological father and anticipates the test results will confirm her belief. You won't believe what's coming up next.
Ms. Webster, you recently learned shocking news that Myron Smith, the man you believe your dad, and who paid child support for you, may not be your biological father. Now you've dragged the defendant, Mr. Ware, to paternity court to prove that he is your father and claim today's results will prove your case.
It's mind-boggling how certain he is. Mr. Ware acknowledges a past relationship with Ms. Webster's mother around her conception time, but has always believed another man was her father, based on the mother's statements and the time elapsed. Hang tight, because Ms. Webster's next revelation will really stir the pot.
Mr. Ware, you admit that you had a relationship with Webster's mother around the time of conception, but say for the past 40 years, you were told Mr. Smith was her father.
Things are about to get even spicier. Ms. Webster shares a personal story about her doubts, spurred by comments from Mr. Ware's relatives and inconsistencies in blood type with Mr. Smith. She also notes Mr. Ware's family's presence at her birth, deepening her suspicions. Buckle up. Mr. Ware's explanation next will add another twist to this tangled tale.
Cousin, Miss Smith, and she said, I really believe in my heart that Mr. Ware is your father. She said, you walk like him, you chuckle like him. She said, if I close my eyes and you both chuckle, you wouldn't know the difference. I had a baby book for a long time, and I never started putting things together until the blood type wasn't the same. And I'm looking in the baby book, relatives of Mr. Ware's family that signed in when I was born, they bought gifts.
This adds a whole new level of intrigue. Mr. Ware details his past relationship with Ms. Webster's mother, including the geographical and temporal circumstances that lead him to believe he is not the father. He explains that Ms. Webster's mother had explicitly told him the child was from another man. But wait, the emotional church encounter next is a real heart-tugger.
You knew of this young woman.
Yes, I did.
But you do not believe you're her biological father.
No, I do not. Because at the time when her mom and I she was in between two cities, Louisville, Kentucky, and she would spend months there and months here. During that time, when she became pregnant, she explained to me that she was and that it was another man's child.
So she told you
Yes, she did.
that it was someone else's baby.
Yes, she did.
You can't make this stuff up. Ms. Webster describes a poignant moment at church where she prayed for a sign about her paternity, and unexpectedly, Mr. Ware stood behind her during the prayer, intensifying her belief in a possible connection. But don't go anywhere. Mr. Smith's testimony is just around the corner, and it's a doozy.
We went to visit him at his church. I knew who he was, but he didn't know who I was. I just been praying, that I find out who my father is. There's things in my life, blocks and stumbles I've been going through. There's things goals I'm achieving, and knowing who my father is one of them. And I came to the Lord. I went to the altar. They had altar call. I just prayed that God give me a sign to reveal what's going on.
This testimony throws a wrench in everything. Mr. Smith testifies about his timeline and reasons for doubting he is Ms. Webster's biological father, citing his military service and the timings of his leaves, which do not align with Ms. Webster's conception. The roller coaster continues with the paternity results that are about to drop a major bomb.
We're gonna go right up here to the witness stand, please.
You know we're here discussing the paternity as it relates to Miss Webster. You have been paying child support.
Yes, I have.
But you don't believe you're her biological father.
No, I don't. I'll tell you why.
Please.
Miss Webster was born, which means that she had to be conceived either late December or January of 76 or late December of 75. I was in the United States Army, stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. Right there, she was born September the 17th. Last time I was home on leave was late November.
Get ready for a curveball. The court reveals that.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Ware, you are not her. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Get ready for a wild ride. Ms. Beckley strides into the courtroom, determined to prove that Mr. Allen is the father of her 1-year-old daughter, Idalay Beckley. She's fed up with his minimal involvement and is here to demand he steps up from today forward. Buckle up, the drama train is leaving the station.
Ms. Beckley, you are in court today to prove Mr. Allen is the biological father of your 1-year-old daughter, Idalay Beckley.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say Mr. Allen has only seen his daughter one time since she has been born, and you want him to take responsibility, starting today.
This is about to get spicy. Mr. Allen throws a curveball, completely denying he's Adalé's dad and blaming Ms. Beckley for causing drama that's affecting his current relationship. His denial is firm, filled with conviction and a side of sass. Get your popcorn ready. It's heating up.
You say you are more than certain you are not biological father and claim Ms. Beckley's accusations are driving a wedge between you and your fiance. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Things are heating up now. Ms. Beckley unleashes her frustration, detailing how Mr. Allen has been MIA since day one. Her anger is palpable as she chokes up, demanding he acknowledge their daughter. Strap in, folks. It's about to get even bumpier.
I'm very angry, very frustrated. He's been neglecting her from day one since I got pregnant. And I'm just sick of it, and I just want him to take responsibility of something we both made. It makes me feel angry. She's without a father. It's terrible that she has to go through that, and I'm raising her on my own. I just feel like you should be a dad to her, because you are her father.
When you feel the tension, the plot thickens as they recount the night of conception, which Mr. Allen labels as nothing more than angry sex. This revelation sparks a fiery exchange about the responsibilities that come with unprotected moments. Watch out, the truth bombs are just starting to drop.
He wasn't staying with me, but he ended up coming back on her birthday. We had sex, unprotected.
It wasn't baby making sex. It was angry sex.
It's not about baby making sex. Sex is sex.
It was angry sex, Your Honor. It was out of revenge.
Sex is sex, and she's still here as a baby. It don't matter what type of sex it was unprotected, period.
It was angry sex. I was mad at the fact that she put me at the house, that I had been there taking care of her and the children. She put me out the house. 4 months later, I come back on my daughter's birthday. Day or two later, you tell me that you're pregnant.
Here comes the evidence. Ms. Beckley presents the birth certificates, highlighting Mr. Allen's absence on Adalé's document. It's a visual mic drop that spells out his denial in black and white. Hang tight, the next reveal is a doozy.
I was at the hospital by myself. He was not there. I have evidence, Your Honor.
I'd like to see it.
He signed Germany's and Xavier's birth certificate. Hers is not signed.
So the first one is for Germany, Jacqueline, and Allen. Father's name's there. Xavier, Dantes, Tyrell, Jerome, Allen. Father's name is there. Beckley, no father. Listed.
You won't believe this twist. Mr. Allen claims he's been denied a DNA test not once, but twice, adding layers to his doubt and framing the narrative of his frustration. The roller coaster isn't over yet, more loops to come.
You denied me a DNA test twice, and now you're telling me I don't deserve it? I have children, and all of them have my last name. I didn't have my biological father in my life, so it would be a shame for me not to step up for mine.
You denied her from the point I told you I was pregnant.
Denied me the DNA test not once, but twice. That's what gave me further doubt. For the fact that the way she told me that she pregnant was too fast, time of conception, she said that the baby went full term.
This next part is key. Mr. Allen shares his struggle with feeling alienated from Idalé, blaming Ms. Beckley for keeping their daughter away during scheduled visits. It's a tug of war with Idalé in the middle. Next up, more sparks are about to fly.
She don't make Italy a factor to my life.
You're denying her. Why would I bring her to see you?
She gave Italy her last name for the simple fact that she want to hurt me and break me down as a man. She want to break me down as a man.
That's why.
Like I said, I didn't have my biological. He was murdered the year that I was. So it will be a shame not for me to be there for my children.
I'm here raising her, going through the pregnancy by myself.
A whole year?
Deny
me a DNA test for a whole year?
I didn't deny you nothing.
Listen up for some wisdom. The judge steps in with a life lesson about quality over quantity in parenting. She stresses the importance of responsible fatherhood versus simply increasing the headcount. Don't wander off now. The climax is right around the corner.
I work hard for every dollar to provide for my children. If that's the case, I wouldn't have my beautiful fiance with me. She know that I work hard as a man to provide for my.
Before she said anything, Your Honor, she has nothing to do with it. Whatever she says is false and is irrelevant. She don't know me. I don't know her.
Okay, let me be the judge of that since I'm the judge. State your name for the record.
Montgomery, I'm Darius' fiance. Your Honor told Darius that he was not the father. It's been said that she's told another guy he was the father.
Time for the big reveal. The DNA results are finally disclosed.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Allen, you are the father.
Told you. Stepmama. Stop.
Brace yourselves, folks. Mr. Taylor describes the emotional turmoil when Ms. Jackson, at 9 months pregnant, first doubted his paternity and then later affirmed it. He expresses his hope that he is not the father due to the betrayal. The tension only escalates from here. Just wait, it gets juicier.
Mr. Taylor, you say your fiance, Ms. Jack, dropped a bombshell on you when she was 9 months pregnant and told you that you may not be the child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
She later changed her mind and said, are Raymond's father. And while you're hoping he's yours, words, you're here today to prove that Raymond is not your biological child.
Get ready for a bombshell. Ms. Jackson admits to having an affair during the conception window and is in court to prove to Mr. Taylor that he is indeed the father of her child, despite her infidelity. The courtroom is about to heat up even more. You're not going to believe what happens next.
You admit to an affair during the window of conception with Mr. Green, who will join us momentarily, but you are in court today to Mr. Taylor that he is your son's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on to your seats. This statement hits hard. Mr. Taylor passionately declares that if the child is not his, he will leave the relationship, underlining his commitment to the child he has been raising. Stay tuned. The drama intensifies next. Things are about to get even wilder.
And the only thing that I do know is that if this child ain't mine, I'll be walking out this courtroom today a single man.
You all are engaged. You have a family together. So there is a lot at stake here. Do you understand, Ms. Jackson? In your opinion, do you believe he has a right to doubt?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I believe that he has a right to doubt it. He knows how much I care for him, and I am praying today that the results show that he is the father of Raymond because our relationship is riding on.
This part is a real tearjerker. An intense exchange occurs where Mr. Taylor admits to leaving Ms. Jackson and the children in Florida to pursue a job opportunity in Atlanta, triggering Ms. Jackson's infidelity with Mr. Green, who provided emotional support during Taylor's absence. Watch how this unfolds even further. The emotional roller coaster doesn't stop here.
Knowing that we had nobody and knowing that we had nothing, and I felt alone, and I felt as if I had no one, and I felt that Mr. Green was there for Mr. Taylor was not there for me.
Did you leave her stranded?
Yes, for a job opportunity in Atlanta. You gotta understand, it was my girlfriend and our kids in the shelter. I couldn't do nothing there because it wasn't no job opportunities in Atlanta. I tried to get in contact with her. When she was there, she was at a youth shelter.
You'll need to sit down for this one. During a heated discussion, it's revealed that Ms. Jackson felt abandoned and turned to Mr. Green only a few weeks after Mr. Taylor left for Atlanta, leading to doubts about the child's paternity. The consequences of these actions are about to come to light. Buckle up for the next twist.
This supposed job opportunity that he had, during this job opportunity, he never sent me or the kids any money. We barely had any contact with him. There was no one for me to turn to but Mr. Green. He was the person there for me, giving me emotional support. That was what I needed at that time.
So how long after Mr. Taylor left for Atlanta did you turn to Mr. Green?
A few weeks.
3 days later, she was pregnant by October 12th. I left September 14th. That was less than a month.
No,
That's a lie.
I didn't do it right away.
Ooh, I'm so mad.
This twist was completely out of left field. Mr. Taylor reveals that he only became aware of the paternity issue when a third party informed him via Facebook that Ms. Jackson might be pregnant by Mr. Green. What happens next is even more startling. The plot thickens.
In your statement to the court, you said you didn't learn about this 9 months pregnant?
Yes, a guy that was on Facebook, he inboxed basically telling me that LaJoy was pregnant by Mr. Green. That was my first time even hearing about it. I confronted her.
Now, have you talked to her? You've been talking to her on the phone, and she's never mentioned I'm pregnant.
But I confronted her about it.
We didn't have a lot of contact with each other,
Yes, we
and
did.
I was still having a lot of, emotional
She made
pressure
good
over our
good
relationship.
Facebook
This exchange is a major turning point. Tensions escalate as Mr. Taylor and Ms. Jackson discuss the discovery of texts between Ms. Jackson and Mr. Green, exposing further details of their relationship and the confusion over the child's paternity. The next part will leave you speechless. The revelations keep coming.
And you could see it all there.
I can't trust her.
Jerome, it's time for me to hear from Mr. Green. Will you please escort him into the courtroom? Mr. Green,
Hi.
you did have a sexual relationship with Ms. Jack, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What was the nature of that relationship?
Yes, I met her in the shelter. When I met her, she told me that he had left her for a rap career in Atlanta. Just left and didn't want nothing to do with her. So I'm sitting there and I feel bad. Right? So I sit there, I said, feel bad. She got 2 kids.
Here's a heartfelt confession. Despite the chaos surrounding his relationship with Ms. Jackson and the paternity of Raymond, Mr. Taylor details his deep emotional and practical investment in all of Ms. Jackson's children, highlighting his role as a caregiver. The conclusion of this drama is just around the corner. Get ready for the climax.
Yeah,
you
I do
support
everything.
the children.
I do everything. All her kids.
Thank you.
Clothes, I got that. I'm their best friend. They all tell you. They play with me more than their own mama. I'm the playmate. Daddy, let's play. Let's play fire truck. Let's play dinosaur. Let me time in your black. Little games that we made up.
And if this child is yours, after hearing the testimony presented today and understanding that a few more have come together in your mind,
You'll never see this coming. The court session culminates with the DNA results revealing
it has been determined by this court. His biological father is Mr. Green.
That's fine.
can you believe what just went down? Mr. Slaughter unpacks his past fling with Ms. Johnson and his astonishment upon learning he might be a dad. His doubt stems from the lack of resemblance and the suspicious timing of Ms. Johnson's revelation, poking at the long delay in her bringing up this possibility. The judge and Ms. Johnson clear the air about when conversations actually happen, shedding light on Ms. Johnson's scramble to contact possible fathers after ruling out another man as her son's father. You won't believe what happens next. Stick around.
Did you find out about Damien?
We met through a mutual friend. I know might have been sometime in the early 90s. We kind of lost track of each other after, our relations, and then I seen her later on in life, possibly about 2 years ago, that I might be a possible father for Mr. Johnson. And my first reaction to that, I don't think so. He doesn't look anything like me, and why would you wait till he's a grown man?
Hold the phone. Did that actually just happen? The spotlight's on young Mr. Johnson as he airs out his frustrations about the solo battles his mom faced. He makes a heartfelt plea for the would-be dads to come forward and help his mom, pinpointing the emotional toll of growing up fatherless and his enduring quest for a paternal connection. Just when you think it can't get more heartfelt, the emotional stakes go even higher in the next part.
We didn't have the money. Like, my mom was doing everything by herself. Nobody else wanted to step up and help my mom out, It's like everybody else. Everybody else wants to know who their dad is. I want to know who my dad is. It just shouldn't matter because I'm 22. It doesn't matter if I'm 13. My mom's being a mom and she's trying to figure this out. So these men just need to step up and help her out. You can't do it by herself. She didn't make me by herself.
You are correct, young man.
You've got to hear this one. Mr. Slaughter, upon being questioned about the possibility of being Mr. Johnson's dad, vows to step up as a positive influence and role model. His readiness to fulfill fatherly duties shines through, underpinning the essential role of a dad in a young man's life. The sincerity is real here, folks. But wait, there's more. Grab your tissues for the next segment.
If I am proven to be Mr. Johnson's father, I'm gonna definitely be a good role model to him, stuff that a dad is supposed to do for a up-and-coming young man. I know it's very important for a young man to have a father in his life.
How does that make you feel when he says he would like to be there for you?
It feels good knowing that somebody is step up and be there,
Whoa, talk about an emotional whirlwind. Ms. Johnson directly addresses her son in court, openly expressing her immense pride and unconditional love for him. This tender moment highlights the deep personal impact and the emotional weight of their situation, drawing a clear picture of their close bond. The plot thickens and tugs at the heartstrings even more just around the corner.
Is there anything you want to say to your son? He is such an amazing young man.
And I love him so much.
Oh, me too, Mom.
He excels at everything he does. He's amazing, and it's not fair to any of them. I feel in my heart that he's Damien's, and that would be the only one to carry on his name.
And that's why the stakes are so high.
Are you ready for this curveball? Enter Mr. Harmon, another contender in the fatherhood stakes. His recent enlightenment about the paternity claim amidst an ongoing friendship with Ms. Johnson layers additional complexity into the narrative, illustrating the tangled web of personal histories and connections at play here. And guess what? The surprises aren't stopping here. Keep watching.
And that you are one of 6 potential fathers. When is the first time you heard Damien could potentially be your biological son?
4 weeks ago.
Has Johnson reached out to you?
Well, we're friends. We're still friends.
Oh, wow. So you have been friends and you've seen Damien,
yes,
been around him,
yes,
but you never knew he could potentially be your biological son?
No, I didn't. I have other kids, but I don't think that he's mine.
Ready for a twist? The results are in.
The percentage of relatedness between Miss Lethea Murray and Damien Johnson is 0.00%. You are not